Sunday, fun day, Monday, whatever it is. We're betting sports, I can tell you that right now. Let's go. What is up, folks? Bob from OddsJam, Tony from OddsJam too, by the way. With last minute betting, Mike will be here in a bit. As soon as the neighbor gets done mowing. Oh, God, funny stuff, isn't it, Tom? All right. Get OddsJam free for 2 months. Email me, bob@oddsjam.com. I'll show you how to do it. Pretty simple, real easy thing to do. No problem at all. Don't forget about the OddsJam shop, merchandise store, shop.oddsjam.com for all the best sports betting merchandise around. And see what else we got here. Oh, yeah, that's right. OddsJam Partner Program. Don't forget about that. Well, look who joined us, Tony. He decided to show up. You know, you ought to blur that background.
I can hear him mowing still.
You can hear. Oh, yeah. We're giving Mike a little trouble here.
Bob, you're funny.
Yeah, we are funny, aren't we? Tony's in on this, too.
I know it, man. I know it.
Give him trouble, Tony. I'm out. You
Mike's my guy. I could never.
Really? Okay. All right. Well, welcome to a Monday, fun day of sports betting. Hopefully, we're going to have a parlay that is going to kick butt tonight, and we're going to make money off of.
I got to get this where I can see.
It hasn't been happening. It hasn't been happening at all lately. We've struggled, Tony. I don't know about you, but been a little bit up and down lately. What do you think?
I didn't have a very good July, but I've actually had a pretty good first week of August. So hopefully the tides are turning here in the dog days of summer, and we're getting to some more important baseball. We're starting to bet some preseason NFL as well. So we're in full swing here in the dog days of summer.
Well, he left us again, Tony. What's up, Steven? What's up, Tristan? Thank you guys for joining. I appreciate it. He may not be back. Who knows? Maybe he got mad.
I mean, the only person he should be mad at is the guy mowing the lawn.
That's right. All right, so the U.S. women's team, now I got to tell you, I got a free bet the other day on a book, and it was $100 worth of free bets, and I split it up into 4. Well, there he is. I split it up into 4 $25 bets, and I put 50 of that on the U.S. women's team at plus 130. And you've seen what happened. What the hell happened to that team, guys?
Yeah, I think the books cleaned up pretty good on this Women's World Cup so far, because everybody that I know, including myself, still believe that the U.S. women were on the same level that they have been in the last few World Cups, but clearly just the level of play hasn't been the same. They got a tough break there, but they should have never been in that position in the first place. So they kind of did it to themselves. It's super disappointing. But like I said, I'm pretty sure all the Vegas sports books are smiling today because they were the heavy favorites, and I'm pretty sure the majority of the money was on them.
Oh yeah, definitely. Mike, your thoughts?
Disappointment. That's all you can say. I wasn't on it, so I didn't get cleaned out by Vegas, luckily. So,
well, the U.S. women's team cost me a couple of $100. I'll be honest with you. You know,
throughout the tournament,
throughout the tournament, they cost me a couple of $100. It's hard to make that back. You know, especially I want you to think about this. They hadn't had a tie in since 2015. Okay. They had, well, I know this one went into a shootout, but they had 3 ties in a row. How do you do that? I mean, it just doesn't make sense. Their offense could not get it going. Their goaltending was not good enough. You know, I mean, it just was not good enough. And you thought in the shootout that they would win that. Of course, by that point in time, you know how you bet soccer. If it goes into extra time, if it goes to a shootout, unless you declared that in your bet pre-match, that don't count. If they'd have won that game, we lose anyway. We already
Yeah, that's
lost
rough.
when it went into a shootout. So be careful when you're betting soccer, folks. It can bite you in the butt. All right, Giants money line, Yankees Nerfy in a parlay. Tristan is still trying to do Nerfies, Mike. Didn't you tell him to just follow you?
He has been following me. And he's hit a couple himself. So I actually like the one he's on. I mean, we've got a great pitching matchup there, so I would definitely take that one. And I don't dislike the Giants money line either. So honestly, that's a solid little two-legger he's got there. I think he'll cash that out, honestly.
Okay. Well, last time we went with Cole in a matchup for a Nerfy, it didn't happen.
It didn't happen. Yes. Now we got Cole and C's tonight, but we'll go to it. I mean, I think that I think we'll be good to go in that.
Okay. All right. Tony, got any first five plays tonight?
Yeah, I've got a couple. I've actually got a few more run lines, like just straight up run lines tonight that I like better.
Okay.
But speaking of that Yankees Nerfy, last night when it opened, I did take the first five under 4.5. And I believe it's at 5.5 now. So I do like that play a lot with that pitching matchup we have tonight. And then the run lines I like tonight, I like the Phillies, the Red Sox, and the Brewers. I like all those matchups. They were all positive EV plays earlier. So if we want to throw those into a parlay later, if you guys were feeling one of those, that's more of what I was leaning tonight was the run line.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to throw a parlay together here. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. We'll put this thing together pretty quick. Mike, what I'm going to have to do, since I'm not going to get across the river, Mike and I are in Missouri right now, and you can't bet legally here in Missouri. So what we're going to do is go across the river, place the bets later on. I will have to give you a screenshot of my bet tracker, and that's what you're going to have to post. No choice. Got to follow all three of us, retweet, like, subscribe to our YouTube channel, OddsJam YouTube channel, follow OddsJam on Twitter, do it all. And I'm going to start off first. And I'm going to go with it's a play from my video, Tristan, and that is the Giants on the money line. I had that hours ago, so I'm taking it. Giants on the money line. I'm going to add it right now to the parlay, and whichever one of you two guys want to go next, you can go next.
Yeah, we'll just go down the list. I'll go second here, and looking for a Nerfy. Not a ton of options, unfortunately, today. I looked ahead to tomorrow. There is some decent ones. I'm actually going to look at this Cubs-Mets game.
Okay.
And with Senga and Smiley on the mound, I think we can get the 6 outs here. So I will roll with the Nerfy in that one.
Okay.
Don't dislike going that route.
All right. Hang on a second here.
Do we still call it a retweet or do we call it a re-X?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Repost.
Oh,
yeah. Repost.
All right. So a Nerfy first inning total runs under 0.5 in the Mets game with the Cubs.
Heavy Nerfy teams, Cubs and Mets towards the bottom, 20 for the Cubs, 23rd in Nerfies, Mets dead last and 30th. So really like that matchup for a Nerfy. at least throughout the series. Hopefully it hits tonight. But
the Cubs have hit the Yurfie in 4 out of their last 5 games, though. I think
that's true, but I think they're going to cool off at some point.
Right.
Senga's decent on the mound. Let's just get the 6 outs.
plus 258 is where we're at now. And Tony, you got the last leg here.
Well, I already gave you guys all the other plays that I'm on pretty much, and you guys have given a Nerfy and all those. So I'll give you a player prop, and let's go to the Toronto-Cleveland game. And I'm going to go with Ryu over 3.5 Ks. It was at plus money earlier when I got it, and I'm pretty sure that's changed to being a favorite on the line now. But I think against that Guardians lineup, he's coming back from injury, but he's had a couple solid starts in rehab, and I think he could definitely get 4 strikeouts in this game. So we'll go Ryu over 3.5 Ks if that's still available.
Yes, it is, and that puts us at plus 570.
I like it.
Okay, so let me go ahead and get to my bet tracker, screenshot that, and send it to Mike, and we'll get that posted here in a little bit. In the meantime, guys, what's on the NFL schedule for this week?
Preseason, we know that.
Is there a Thursday game this week? I think it's Friday, isn't it?
There is a.
I don't think there's anything, honestly, until this weekend.
I don't think it's. I think is there something Friday?
I'm wrong. Thursday, August 10th. Houston at New England and Minnesota at Seattle.
Okay.
Then we got Friday night games, Saturday games, and 2 Sunday games. So we've got football for 4 days straight, guys.
That's awesome.
Yeah, throw in a little bit of football here, and while we got baseball going on, and then of course we're going to get some basketball and hockey back in the mix soon. So we're going to be loaded. We're going to have a lot to bet on because MLB September is going to be a big month. I'm looking forward to that. And then we got the playoffs. I mean, we're getting at a great time of year. College football is going to be starting. Then we're going to end up having college basketball starting. I mean, man, we're going to be having everything, guys.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I know some people won't be betting baseball maybe as much. I will be. I will continue to hammer baseball as it's one of my favorite sports to bet on. I don't necessarily have a favorite sport to bet on. I will say that this baseball season has been fun to bet on, more so than any year so far for me, at least.
Makes sense. All right, Mike, I'm going to actually send this to your email. Because I'm doing this from my computer, so that's where it's going to, and it's probably going to go to your OddsJam email.
Tony, how well do you think Carr will do with the Saints?
Well, I actually posted today. We got them at a pretty good price before that line change, but we're taking the Saints on the money line this week in preseason. I know that has nothing really to do with the regular season, but I think Carr should do pretty well. I mean, that division, I think it's down now with Brady out, and obviously the Bucs are not looking very good at all. So I think with Carr getting full reins over there, I think he'll have a pretty solid year, depending on if his receivers can be all healthy. I think we know who I'm talking about.
Tony, you're stealing our thunder. We've been talking about Derek Carr on the radio show and what have you. That's great.
Tony's right on point. I mean, it's obvious. Tony's stating the obvious here, and the fact of the matter is that Derek Carr went from being the second worst quarterback in his division to the best quarterback in his division, and not only that, we could now argue that he's maybe top 5 quarterbacks in the NFC, if we're being honest with ourselves here. I mean, Derek Carr has been productive. He's not been great, but the NFC has nowhere near the firepower at quarterback that we see in the AFC. And I think New Orleans is I think they're going to win that division, no doubt.
Agree 100%. I think they're the favorite going into the season. Now, one thing that we haven't looked at, and I see people out there doing football futures videos and what have you. We do need to take a look at what is happening in regards to the NFL. All right. So I'm gonna switch up here on you a little bit. Got it. And I love it when the dogs agree with me. I mean, it's great.
Everybody loves talking football.
That's right. Is he? Yes, you're right. I know.
Jacob says, thoughts on Eric Carlson going to the Penguins? I got to be honest, I really like it a lot. I think this is a really good trade. Carlson and Letang.
Great.
And that came out of nowhere. I did not expect to wake up on a random August morning and see one of the best defenders in hockey go to a team that really needed it. I mean, all the Penguins had to do was beat the Blackhawks in that last game of the season, and the Panthers wouldn't have never made that playoff run.
That's right.
With Carlson now, I mean, that's kind of what they needed to get over the hump, you got to think.
Okay, now I'm not trying to be a jerk here, okay? But you said one of the best defenders. He's not a really good defender. He's a really good offensive defenseman. Okay, Eric Carlson,
as a position player,
he's not a shutdown defender at all.
No, but in terms of position, he's definitely a top defenseman when you're talking.
That's what I was saying.
That's what you meant.
That's what he meant. Look at you, Bob, being all.
You young guys got to get. If you're gonna make a statement,
I said defender and not defenseman.
Yeah.
All right, now check this out. Here we've got the NFC South division up right now. You can get the Saints to win the division at plus 130 on BetMGM and on FanDuel. I think that's worth throwing some money on, guys.
I mean, it is plus odds right now, and I don't know what that line was at one time. I'm sure you probably could have got better on the Saints. So me personally, I'm all right on the futures at plus 130, wrapping up that much money. I do think they'll win the division, but I don't want to touch it at this point. I mean, if I were going to do that, I think I'd take a flyer on a longer shot like Carolina, just because of the value and the odds for it. But ultimately, New Orleans should win this division.
Who's Atlanta's quarterback?
Desmond Ridder.
Yeah, that Ritter's their quarterback.
Right.
He was their top pick from Cincinnati, so apparently he can sling it. But I mean, they got
Heineke there on backup duty.
That's right. I think if the Saints lose a game or two, you might see some better number than plus 130. So I think I might wait for that.
Exactly. That's kind of what I'm thinking, as the season goes on. Maybe we could end up seeing them at even better value as we're into the season. So I will pass on that plus 130 for now.
Let's look at the AFC South. Since we're in South divisions, look at the Jaguars. Jaguars, the favorite at minus 155, guys. The Titans, you can get it plus 350 on DraftKings. Is that worth a shot?
I'm not sure on Tennessee. I do think that if you were, you would take Tennessee for a futures perspective, because who's going to wrap up money on a minus 145, minus 155 future? It could go either way. Injuries happen. Who knows? So yes, the Jaguars are likely the best team in that division. We will have to see what DeAndre Hopkins can bring for Tennessee, if that can add a little bit of spark to that team. But ultimately, Jacksonville definitely should be favored to win that division. But I'd be willing to put a little bit of money on Tennessee, because, I mean, you're looking at plus 350 compared to minus 150. Like, forget that.
Yeah. But, Tony, after that playoff win last year by the Jaguars, and the comeback, I mean, how can they not be the favorite?
Well,
right?
and you also got to remember they were in that game against Kansas City as much
I know.
and that was the game Mahomes got hurt, which may
Mike.
have played a factor. But
Mike, that was a joke on you, and I was addressing Tony there, so
Yeah,
he can answer the big comeback that the Jaguars had last year. Who was that against, Tony?
Well, that was a crazy game against. I was going to say San Diego for a second. That was a crazy game against the Chargers, but
Yeah,
I think
Chargers.
that might be the best number. I don't think I'll touch it either, but that might be the best number that you see on the Jags this year with the other teams in that division. If they can win a couple games early on, that number might get even worse. But I think with Tennessee, I mean, you've got the coaching, you've got the defense, and you've got the run game, which are three really important aspects in football. And I love all three of those parts of the game for Tennessee. So, I mean, maybe a little sprinkle on that Tennessee number. But I think the Jaguars, just like the Saints, that's probably right for them to be around there.
Well, and now we got to see how Jacksonville responds to now, kind of putting themselves on the map now. Now people got to take them seriously. They kind of surprised some people last year, getting there and then winning that game in general, even before being down like they weren't a lot of people giving them a shot. So people are going to realize Jacksonville's legit now and not take them lightly. So you would have to think that they're going to get everybody's best game, come time to roll. So we'll see how Jacksonville responds with that.
I'm not convinced. If I'm picking, I'm going to put money on Tennessee. If I'm going to put money on this division, I don't believe. Well, I'm not convinced with Trevor Lawrence yet. Sorry, guys.
Well, and that's fair a little bit. Although you have to say that he did bounce back after a horrendous start. He did do enough to help them win that game. So you got to give him credit too.
Well, it's because the Chargers.
As much as he almost gave it away, he took it back. Got to give the guy credit.
That's because the Chargers gave it to him. Okay, he didn't take anything; it was given to him. The Chargers were terrible.
Lawrence played well, and then you got to remember Doug Peterson, pretty darn good coach too. So give Peterson some credit of talking Lawrence through that and saying, "Hey, you've thrown all these picks, don't mean nothing,"
Yeah. Now, don't you love it that I bounce around all this stuff very quickly since the Eric Carlson trade, which we've already brought up? Let's just, for the heck of it, take a look and see if it moved the Penguins at all for the Eastern Conference. Okay? It's going to be tough if you look at it because Hurricanes, Leafs, Devils, Bruins, Lightning, Rangers, Panthers, still the Penguins at plus 1,800. That's going to be tough, but man, you're going to have Letang and Carlson possibly on the power play together with Sid the Kid. That's going to be a tough power play, man.
Yep.
It could be very, very tough. When I'm looking at all these teams in the NHL, I know we don't have anything to make the playoffs right now, but you got to be looking at New Jersey. And do you look at we talked about Ottawa and Detroit last year and Buffalo a little bit last year? Are either of these teams going to make a move and get into that wild card?
Yeah, I think you pretty much just said it right there. A team like the Devils, who kind of seemed like they were a year or two early this year with the start that they had and the winning streak that they had in the middle of the year. But I think they could definitely be a team that you look at to be a dark horse this year to make the playoffs and maybe go a round or two in there. I do like the Devils with their young core there.
Okay. You agree with that, Mike?
Yeah, I do. I mean, you got to like what they've done. You got to who they picked up Timo Meyer too, right?
Right.
Yep.
So definitely like that going for them. Good, solid player, veteran guy. Already had the young talent Tony talked about. I mean, yeah, I would look for New Jersey to be even better this year, and they were really good this last year. But now I think they're a team that getting into the playoffs, they may win. They may get out of the first round this year, They hung with the Rangers in that first round series. I know the Rangers ended up winning, but New Jersey gave them everything they wanted.
Something we haven't touched on, guys, and we're going to touch on it real quick. College football is going nuts.
I love it.
Absolutely nuts with the changes from these teams that are now leaving the Pac-12 and going to the big. What is it? The Big 50 now, or is it the Big 10 and the Big 12? I mean, I'm so confused. Are we on our way to one super conference?
I think we're on our way to maybe 2 or 3 major, bigger conferences with, say, 24 teams or so in them. But I'm super excited for this college football season because I'm a UCF Knights alum in Orlando, Florida, and it's our first year in the Big 12 here. So we've got a lot of new teams on our schedule for football and basketball. Kansas is going to be in town with Baylor for basketball. You got Oklahoma State and West Virginia coming for football. So it's the Big 12, the Big 10. They're all growing with exciting new young teams. So I'm looking forward to the college football season for sure.
Yeah, I am too. Mike, you feel pretty confident about that too?
Yeah, no two ways about it. That's where we're headed. Steven says, help me out with a DGen parlay. Can you give 2 money line locks each? We'll get a 6 pick. 2 money line locks each. Let's do it.
I got 2 right here. I got Miami and San Francisco.
Phillies and Brewers.
Phillies and Brewers. All right, that leaves it up to me. Let's go Yankees money line, and let's go
Twinkies.
Let's go with the Twins money line.
Yeah, there you go. Scotty Corral got in on that, didn't you, buddy? Got to get that Minnesota stuff in there. Scott, is that the only teams you bet on, bud?
I'm on them tonight. I think they get the job done. Although Rodriguez, good pitcher for Detroit.
He's either on the Golden Gophers or the Wild or the T-Wolves or
heck yeah, man.
He's a Minnesota guy, man. He's a good guy, and he loves his Minnesota teams. So Twinkies tonight. I'm going to tell you one thing right now, Scott. The Twins better not lose that division. That's all I can say, because that should be a lock for them.
Yeah, everybody else sold at the deadline.
Yeah, Guardians trying to fight literally their way in it.
That was awesome.
Yeah, more ways than one. What did you hear the announcer? He did down goes Anderson, reminiscent of down goes Frazier. Down goes, which was the Howard Cosell line.
Well, here's the thing. If I saw that right, I don't think Jose Ramirez knew he was even hitting him in the face. If it looks to me like Jose he just throws a right and he just lucked out and his face was right there, man.
Yeah.
But hey, it is what it is. I don't think I'd want to take a punch from Jose Ramirez. Pretty big guy.
Oh, no, me either. I don't think I could take it on the chin. All right, the dogs are saying it's time to go. So it's time to go. We've got us a parlay together. Mike's going to post it. So let's go. Tell them, girls.
We just gave you a 6-teamer money line parlay as well.
Oh, that's right.
Let's cash it.
What a show. I mean, come on. They better wrap it up. Hey, you know what? If they still had that stadium that had a trash bag in right field, they might and plexiglass in left field, they might be able to win a playoff series.
Correa disappointment for them.
Yeah.
What a joke of a ballpark that was, Scotty. See ya.